Hi guys, welcome to Isaac Newton the Great. My name is Rem, and today we are going to be talking about Kardashev civilizations. The Earth is one of the most insignificant planets on the universe, and yet on this tiny blue dot, life was born, and we're able to use energy and resources of our home planet to build cities and homes. Let's be honest here, we have our fair share of problems on our little planet, like poverty, lack of food, floods, and Donald Trump's haircut. But we also have a lot of things that are going really well for us, like human rights, or gender equality, or something like Star Wars. In fact, by studying the cosmic microwave background radiation, we have calculated the age of the universe to be approximately 13.8 billion years old. It's hard to believe that we're the only civilization, or the first civilization. In 1964, Russian astrophysicist Nikolai Kardashev developed a scale to measure just how advanced a civilization is. He hypothesized that how developed a civilization is directly proportional to their energy consumption on a log scale. There are 3 base classes to the scale, but afterwards, astronomers also developed levels 4 and 5 to expand the scale, and some even go as far-fetched as 6 and 7. So anyway, which class are humans in, you might ask? Well, prepare to be disappointed. The formula that we can use to calculate what exact level we are is we find K, and K is equal to log base 10, P, which is the total power consumption in a year, minus 6 and everything over 10. In 1973, we have a K value of 0.7, and in 2016, the level of energy consumption about doubled, giving us a K value of 0.72. What? Such a small increase, that can't be right. But notice that the Kardashev equation is on a log scale. So even if we consume 10 times the amount of energy as we do right now, we'd only be at a 0.8. Type 0 civilization, subglobal culture. This civilization extracts its energy and raw materials from crude organic-based sources such as wood, coal, and oil. Any rockets utilized by such a civilization would necessarily depend on chemical propulsion. Since such travel is so pitifully slow, a civilization at this level would be, for most of the part, confined to its home planet. Unfortunately, this is about where we are. We haven't quite made it to Type 1 yet. So what does a Type 1 civilization look like, and how would they be different from how we live? Type 1 civilizations, planetary culture. Civilizations have the ability to harness all the energy of its home planet. So this is also known as planetary civilization. And that would mean utilizing all the energy that reaches the planet, like solar energy and thermal, hydro, wind energy, etc. So it is likely that we will no longer be extracting energy from coal or oil. Dr. Michio Kaku thinks that a planetary civilization should be able to control the climate of the planet, as well as earthquake and volcanoes, and probably will be building ocean cities. And topics such as rising ocean levels or global warming will no longer be talked about. If that's the case, we are not quite there yet. It is likely that a Type 1 civilization would have already mastered both nuclear fission and fusion as ways to produce energy. So they could reach farther places in their planetary system. They will likely have built research bases on other planets of the solar system, like Mars or Jupiter, or the moons of Jupiter. There will also be an official language of the world, and the national languages that we would use today would probably just become something like dialects, very much like how we view Latin or Biblical Hebrew these days. In this world, there may also be a different form of currency that is used globally. Perhaps today's cryptocurrency is an attempt at this. Many physicists think that this will take about 1 to 200 years to achieve. Perhaps your grandkids will be able to see this, so better start making babies now. Type 2 civilizations, stellar culture. A Type 2 civilization will be able to harness all the energy of its star. In our case, that would be the sun. This doesn't mean just solar energy, but really controlling the star. One of the most famous methods that was proposed about doing this is the Dyson sphere. The Dyson sphere would encompass every single inch of the star and harvest most, if not all, of its energy output and transfer it to the planet for later use. But when you think about it, the Dyson sphere could be quite problematic in a number of ways. Let's say even if we use all of the matter we have in the solar system, it still won't be enough to make our Dyson sphere. Tensile strength needed to prevent the sphere from tearing itself apart vastly exceeds any known material. The sphere would not gravitationally bind to its star in any stable fashion that we know. A related concept, the Dyson swarm, is a little bit more promising. A Dyson swarm would consist of thousands of relatively small mirrors or solar panels in an array of orbits around the sun. Like a dense cloud of bees buzzing around a hive, a Dyson swarm largely shrouds the sun from the external view, capturing most of the available solar energy. If we build a Dyson swarm, we'd probably destroy Mercury, Venus, Mars, and even our own home planet. So we will need some form of habitat. This could come in the form of large rotating space colonies, a lot like the O'Neill cylinders that is placed in a very nice temperate zone of the solar system, probably about the distance between the Earth and Sun right now. And in these safe zones, the swarm would collect solar energy and then they would send it to our space colonies via laser. So what would we do with all this energy? Well, nothing known to science could really wipe out a Type 2 civilization. Let's take, for instance, if humans survive long enough to reach this status. Then, if a moon-sized object entered our solar system, on a collision course with our little blue planet, if it still exists back then, we would have the ability to vaporize it completely out of existence. Or if we had the time, we would be able to move our planet out of the way and completely dodging it. Type 3 civilizations, galactic culture. This civilization would be able to control and harness all the energy output of a galaxy. This is about 10 billion times the energy output of a Type 2 civilization, or about 100,000 to a million years far more advanced than we are. They would have colonized the galaxy itself, extracting energy from hundreds of billions of stars traveling across interstellar space, and populating innumerable worlds. They might use similar technologies as a Type 2 civilization. Perhaps they will have Dyson structures around all the stars of the galaxy. And in the center of the galaxy is a supermassive black hole, which also releases large amounts of energy. So chances are this black hole will be a major source of energy of the civilization. But different from the Type 2 civilizations, a Type 3 civilization would have also mastered technologies such as the warp drive, or Accuberry drives, and other technologies we would only see in Star Trek. This civilization has already found cures for most diseases and are actively seeking methods of immortality such as memory storage or making cybernetic bodies and being able to actively move and manipulate the conscious mind. However, death is still unavoidable in accidents such as accidentally deleting memories or just losing information. But at this point, the civilization would definitely have met other civilizations through their expansion, and it's likely that there would be interstellar wars happening in a Type 3 civilization. Type 4 civilizations, universal cultures. This civilization would be an intergalactic culture spanning the whole space of the universe. Technologies of this civilization would need much more energy than one galaxy can provide. They look to neutron stars, which are the collapsed core of giant stars formed by gravitational collapse. The density of a neutron star is equivalent to compressing the Earth into a sphere with the radius of only 11 meters. If you stand on a neutron star, the gravity will immediately reduce you to dust. Many times, neutron stars are found spinning wildly with extreme magnetic field, such as pulsars or magnetars. Pulsars have very strong magnetic fields, which funnel jets of particles along the two magnetic poles. These accelerated particles produce very strong beams of light. So what's a magnetar? In all neutron stars, the crust of the star is locked together with the magnetic field so that any change of one affects the other. The crust is under immense amounts of strain, and a small movement on the crust can be explosive. But since the crust and the magnetic field are tied, that explosion ripples through the magnetic field. So in a magnetar with its huge magnetic field, movements in the crust cause the neutron star to release a vast amount of energy in the form of electromagnetic radiation. A magnetar called SGR 180620 had a burst where in 1/10 of a second it released more energy than the sun has emitted in the last 100,000 years. On the other hand, if the sun was a magnetar, then the brightness would be even more intense than if an atomic bomb were to explode 1 centimeter from your eyes. A Type 4 civilization would have to harvest such levels of energy, but the problem is this only happens 3 to 5 times in 100 years in a whole galaxy. So this will prompt a Type 4 civilization to look for other galaxies outside of their own, hence making them a universal culture. They would travel across the cosmos, commanding power of 1 billion suns. These societies would be capable of attempting projects of superhuman scales, such as changing the structure of space-time, or deliberately slowing of entropy, or even reversing entropy in order to achieve the ultimate immortality. Or the civilization might be ultimately able to live inside the event horizon of a supermassive black hole. However, a Type 4 civilization would probably still be unable to change the laws of physics, but they may be able to create functional wormholes for faster travels between galaxies. They will use strong gravitational forces, just like that of a black hole, to build these wormholes in different parts of the universe. So this is a lot like us building train stations or airports, or other public transportation stations. And since a Type 4 civilization may build these wormholes all over the universe, it's only a matter of time before they reach the edge of the universe. And what will happen if they reach the edge? Maybe they will end up back to the other side of the universe or something. We can never know. But at the end, they can travel through the wormholes as much as they want, but discover that they can never really escape the universe. In this case, an advanced Type 4 civilization might feel a little bit lonely and depressed because they realize that they're imprisoned within the boundaries of the universe. And this may lead to many problems that could even cause the fall of civilization, leading to war and destruction among themselves. Only very few Type 4 civilizations can survive to go onto a Type 5 civilization. Type 5 civilizations, multiverse culture. Beings in Type 5 civilization would live like gods. They have solved many of the problems of a Type 4 civilization, and they tap into sources that are currently unknown and unimaginable to us. Manipulating the environment of their own universe would be a piece of cake. They will expand their territory to other universes, and computational technologies would be so advanced that human consciousness could be uploaded into a network that is accessible to everyone. The network of consciousness may sometimes meet other individuals of other civilizations. Perhaps many of the people that we call geniuses today, such as Einstein or Tesla, Darwin, they might have merely had a moment of access to the network of consciousness of a Type 5 civilization. The civilization would also have enough energy to control the birth and death of any star. They're able to compress the neutron star even further and make them into weapons. Since they would be able to control supernovas, they are able to freely create large amounts of elements such as gold, silver, or platinum. A supernova is able to produce a moon's worth of gold. While even better than this is neutron star merging, which could produce something like a Jupiter-sized mass of gold. The gold jewelry that you wear today is made from supernova or neutron stars that are formed billions of years ago. This means that in a Type 5 civilization, gold would no longer be a rare substance. We would finally have achieved the technology of alchemy. A Type 5 civilization may use gold as a common building material, creating palaces and cities that are made of pure gold. When supernovas and neutron stars can't satisfy the needs of a Type 5 civilization, they would return to one of the scariest things in our universe, quasars. A quasar is an extremely luminous, active galactic nucleus in which supermassive black hole with a mass ranging from millions to billions of times of the Sun, is surrounded by a gaseous accelerating disk. You can think of it like a space volcano. Quasars are something that types 1 to 4 civilizations would want to avoid, as they will destroy anything that comes near to them. But the most impressive trait of a Type 5 civilization is probably the ability to create life. They are able to place a planet into ideal circumstances that are the most suitable for life and help intelligent life forms evolve from single-celled or organic materials. They will help feed and protect such life forms just like how humans take care of plants. So for a Type 5 civilization, creating intelligent life is just like planting trees. And if you want to think of even more far-fetched ideas, some would even say that those from Type 5 civilizations directed their consciousness into many godly figures we know today in our world to visit us. So different religions are merely different opinions among those of our creators. But the people of the Type 5 civilization will still wonder, who created them? Let me know what you think, and feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed watching my video, I would be very happy if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Bye.